The 2022 MLB season is about to end, and that means some big awards are about to be handed out. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I think is going to win each award in each league. Now, this isn't necessarily who I think deserves to win the award, but I think this is who the writers are going to end up picking. And to get it started off, let's talk about the managers of the year in both the American League and the National League. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. The MLB postseason is coming up, and that means you can save $20 off tickets at SeatGeek using promo code Giraffe. A link will be in the description, so it'll take you right there. You search up the game that you want to go to, and then you start to see the SeatGeek scores. If you see a SeatGeek deal score of green, that means it's a good deal. You should buy it. If you see red or orange, I would avoid those. Plus, with the $20 off tickets at SeatGeek using promo code Giraffe, you're getting even better deals. Whether it's the MLB postseason, start of the football season, basketball, hockey, those are starting up soon, SeatGeek has you covered. So don't worry. I've got the hookup like I said. Use code Giraffe for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase of tickets at SeatGeek using promo code Giraffe. Make sure you click the link in the description and download the app. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. In the American League, I truly believe it's down to two guys right now. Brandon Hyde of the Baltimore Orioles and Terry Francona of the Cleveland Guardians. Both of these managers have done things incredibly well this year. Starting it off with Brandon Hyde with the Orioles are a team that's really good. They called up Adley Rutschman, completely changed the outcome of this season, and this was a team who, up until about a week ago, was competing for a playoff spot. Nobody thought that was happening this year, myself included. Brandon Hyde 100% has to be on this list. The team is playing way better than I expected. As for the Cleveland Guardians, Terry Francona, who has been a great manager, going to be a Hall of Fame manager, has taken this Cleveland Guardians team, who a lot of people thought were going to be in third place this year, and they've won over 90 games this season. The starting pitching has been solid, and the offense, the team, they're getting the most out of these players. We know about J-Ram, but you got Andres Jimenez playing well, Ahmed Rosario playing well, Josh Naylor, Oscar Gonzalez. The list goes on and on. The Cleveland Guardians have been a fantastic surprise on the 2022 Major League Baseball season. So who do I think is going to win? I think it's going to be Terry Francona. Who do I think deserves to win? I think it's probably Brandon Hyde. Who thought the Orioles were going to be this good? Not me, not you, nobody. And the Orioles are going to finish above 500? Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. Now for the National League Manager of the Year, I do think it's relatively a one-horse race. I think had the Mets won the National League East Division, I do think it would have been Buck Showalter. And there are some talks about Oli Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, being involved here, but I think the right choice and the only choice is Brian Snitker. After the Braves started the season off really slow, I mean under 500, they've gone on an absolute tear since then, winning about 70% of the games that they played. They're gonna get first place in the National League East. The magic number is essentially one with the Mets. They just have to win one game and the season's over, at least in terms of the National League East for the Mets. To me, it's gotta be Brian Snitker. Now I know, they won the World Series last year. They were expected to be one of the best teams. How can he be the choice? The fact that he was able to rally this team when they were down so much, so early. The Mets had the lead in the division all year long. I mean, trust me, I know all about it. I don't want to keep talking about this. The fact that they were able to come back, Brian Snitker, I think, deserves to be the manager of the year in the National League. Okay, now let's move to the Rookie of the Year. We start to have a little bit more fun here. In the American League, I think it's like a 3-4 horse race, but we all know who's actually going to win it. But I do need to give shout outs to Adley Rutschman, who, of course, we mentioned earlier, completely changed the Baltimore Orioles season. Shout out to Stephen Kwan, the unsung rookie hero. I didn't even mention him when I mentioned the Guardians. That's so bad. But Stephen Kwan has been so incredibly good for this team. He's a great player. Just a really, really good bat to have in that lineup and a really good all-around player. And then Bobby Witt Jr., who started the year off a little bit slow, but has finished a lot stronger. Had a great chunk of play in the second half of the season for the Royals, and I do think he'll end up being a great player. But as we know, the player who's going to win it and deserves it is, of course, J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. 27 homers, 25 stolen bases, hitting .280 with a .342 on base, .502 slugging, .844 OPS, and OPS plus at 144 as a 21-year-old rookie. This guy is becoming one of the best players in baseball, right in front of our eyes. Now, we know J-Rod hit the IL for a little bit, but he's back for the postseason run. He's an absolute beast, and the numbers just don't lie. This production that you're getting out of a rookie 21-year-old center fielder while playing great defense, stealing bases, hitting for power, he's not just one of the best rookies in baseball this year. He's straight up been one of the best players. So J-Rod, yeah, AL Rookie of the Year, no doubt. In the National League, I think it's a little bit more obvious. It's honestly down to the Braves guys. It's Michael Harris or Spencer Strider, and I think you got to give it to Michael Harris. Strider's been absolutely incredible, but the fact that he got hurt here towards the end of the year, I think hurts him, and Michael Harris has been on an absolute tear. Michael Harris has 19 homers, 27 doubles, 3 triples, and 64 RBIs on the year while stealing 20 bags. So yeah, he's basically going to finish 2020, hitting .298 with a .337 on base, .518 slugging, .856 OPS, good for an OPS plus at 136. Now, I don't want to hear you in the comments Tell me about regression. Tell me about Michael Harris is not going to play this well next year because he doesn't have a good walk rate and he does chase. We're not here to talk about that. I'm here, unfortunately, to appreciate how good this young Atlanta Braves rookie has been this year. Michael Harris is a young budding star, and he 100% deserves to win the National League Rookie of the Year in my eyes, and I think that's also who's going to win it. Now to talk pitching. This is where it gets a little more interesting because I think it's a little bit more wide open on the National League and American League Cy Young race, even though there's definitely a clear favorite in both. In the American League, I think the clear favorite's Justin Verlander. He's had a phenomenal year. He has the lowest ERA in Major League Baseball. He has the lowest whip in Major League Baseball. He has been unbelievable after taking off a year from Tommy John surgery. Who saw this coming? Not me. You honestly couldn't. I couldn't expect Justin Verlander to give you 170 innings of Cy Young caliber baseball after Tommy John. You then have Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox, who is a strikeout machine, striking out over 30% of the batters he's faced. He does walk a few still. That's definitely something he does. But in 184 innings, a 2.2 ERA with a whip at 1.09, I think he's in the conversation at least of one of the top three guys. And then you've got Shohei Ohtani, which is crazy because, I mean, basically the best pitcher in the American League, and he's one of the best hitters. Striking out 33% of the batters he faced. Walking only 6.5% basically. Shohei Ohtani is having a Cy Young caliber season. He's been phenomenal. The ERA is low too. When we were talking ERA, 27 starts, 161 innings, 2.35 ERA, and a whip at 1.031, striking out 12 batters per nine. Shohei Ohtani, I think, legitimately deserves a Cy Young, but I think it's going to end up being Justin Verlander. The year he's had has been incredible. He's thrown more innings. While he doesn't have the K rate like Ohtani, the numbers are just absolutely filthy, and I think Justin Verlander is very deserving of winning it. Should Shohei Ohtani win it? I think personally, probably. But Justin Verlander will win it, and I think he's the favorite, and I think there's good reason to. He's been great. Like a fine wine, Justin Verlander only gets better with age, and he showed it again in 2022. Now in the National League, there's obviously one clear favorite. It's Sandy Alcantara, and the pronunciation on Baseball Reference doesn't help me. But yeah, he's been absolutely filthy. I mean, he's thrown by far the most innings in Major League Baseball this year, 228. He's thrown 6 complete games, which is disgusting. I mean, we just don't see that. Oh, and he has a 2.28 ERA with a whip under 1 at 0.98. Yeah, Sandy's really, really good. Probably the most deserving guy. But we got to give shout outs to Zach Gallen, Max Fried, and Julio Urias as well, who have microscopic ERAs. We're talking in the low 2s as well, striking out a ton of batters, not giving up walks, not giving up hits. They've all been disgusting in their own way. But I think the Cy Young deserves to go to Sandy. He's thrown way more innings than anyone in Major League Baseball. No one else has 200 right now at the time of recording this video. He's got 228. And while he's not going to make his final start of the season against the Atlanta Braves, that doesn't matter. He's the best pitcher in baseball this season, one of the best pitchers in the entire game just in general, and I think Sandy deserves to win the Cy Young. Now for the big one here. Let's talk about the MVP. I'm going to start off in the National League because I think it's a little less contentious there. I think there's one and obvious choice. It's Paul Goldschmidt. Now, yes, Manny Machado's had a great year. Freddie Freeman's had a great year. Those are probably your other two choices in the top 3, but it's Paul Goldschmidt all day. While his numbers have cooled off a little bit, you could say, Paul Goldschmidt's still having a phenomenal year on his way to a Hall of Fame career. 35 homers, 41 doubles, 114 RBIs with a 318 average, 404 on base, 581 slugging, and a National League best 985 OPS with an OPS plus at 181. Paul Goldschmidt's really good, and Goldie deserves to win the MVP, and I think he will win the MVP in the National League. Now in the American League, here's where it gets fun. Here's where it gets crazy, because how do you not give the MVP to Shohei Ohtani? Seriously, how do you not do it? I mean, the guy has 34 homers, basically 30 doubles, 6 triples, 94 RBIs. He stole 11 bases, hitting 275 with a 357 on base, 524 slugging, 882 OPS, 147 OPS plus. Disgusting at the plate. Great, amazing numbers. And he's also pitching, like we just mentioned before, at Cy Young level. How does Shohei Ohtani not win the MVP? You want to know how? Aaron Judge is having a historic season as well. And honestly, I think if Shohei didn't win the MVP last year, it would maybe be easier for him to win it this year. That might be a little bit too meta for you guys, but I'm going to throw it out there. That being said, Aaron Judge is absolutely incredible, and he deserves the MVP. In a perfect world, they should split it, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be Aaron Judge. He deserves it. He's been insane. At the time of recording, 61 home runs, which of course ties the American League record. 61 homers, 130 RBIs, 311 average, 427 on base, 689 slugging, and 1116 OPS. Yeah, Mike Trout does this, and I say Mike Trout should win the MVP. So yes, Aaron Judge should win the MVP. He's doing historical things. He's just simply having one of the best offensive seasons that we've ever seen. It's an incredible year. Aaron Judge deserves to win the MVP. So does Shohei Ohtani. It's going to be Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is going to win the MVP in the American League, and honestly, there's not really a problem with that. It's crazy that we're having two of the greatest seasons ever in the same same year, and they probably just won't be co-MVPs. One of them will win, one of them will lose. I hate to be this guy, but if Shohei Ohtani was on a winning team, probably has a better chance, even though I don't think that's the right way to handle it, but I think the writers do. And Judge is also sick. Let that be known. So those are my award predictions for the 2022 MLB season. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Where do you agree and disagree with me on? If you did enjoy the video, please do drop a like on it. It really does help out the channel, as well as don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMark, links in description. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my video where I went to 3 games in the span of 24 hours. You need to go watch it. It's a banger. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.